Namaste people, I am Anmol Sarkar. So if you guys have seen my introduction video, you guys must have an idea about who I am and what I am trying to do and what this channel is all about. And if you have not seen that video, I'll share the link in the comment section for Facebook and for YouTube in the description below. Please kindly like to my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can come up with more such informative videos for you guys. So without wasting any further time, let's get straight down to today's topic. Before that, we will see what we have covered in the last topic, because that's very important for us right now. Overview of that, what we have covered, we have basically covered the evangelical movements in Sri Lanka, the Dravidian race divide between Buddhists and Tamils in Sri Lanka, as well as the civil war which took place was a consequence of this Aryan Dravidian Tamil, what we say, Aryan Buddhist versus Dravidian Tamil divide. We have seen all that, and which Indologist said what. In today's video, we will go through a new chapter which is linked to this. How did they propagate this Aryan Dravidian race divide in South India as well as in Sri Lanka. So one of their prominent strategy was they wanted to digest Hinduism into Christianity, as I have said earlier in many videos, that what they think they could fit into Christianity, they gave it a Christian image, and what they think could not fit into Christianity, they termed it as myth and blamed it on Hinduism. So in today's video, we shall also go through one of that. Actually, it was a myth only, it did not exist. They created this myth, and after after when it was rejected by this many Christian scholars, after few decades, they started fabricating archaeological evidence. We shall all go into that overview of this. Okay, so in today's video we shall cover the myth of Saint Thomas. If I were to underline in the myth of Saint Thomas in one sentence, it stated that Saint Thomas was a direct disciple of Jesus who came to India in the 53 BCE, and he gave all this Hindu texts of Tirukural and Mahabharata and Ramayana. So that was the myth behind it. He started all the Hindu texts, or the Hindu culture was derived from this Saint Thomas, or Saint Thomas was a pioneer in shaping Hindu culture, as you can say that. As I have said, the story that places Saint Thomas in India in 53 CE is lingering medieval myth. It implicitly includes colonial and racial narratives for intents. A peaceful apostle ministered to the dark-skinned Indians who turned on and killed him. The myth, however, has no historical basis at all. Nevertheless, it has been shaped by various Christian churches into a powerful tool for appropriation of Hindu culture in Tamil Nadu, by giving credit to Thomas Christianity, as I said, for everything positive in South Indian culture, while blaming Hinduism for what is to be degenerated or denigrated, whatever we say. It further serves the tool to carve out Tamils from the common body of Indian culture and spirituality. Okay, so this is how we tried to appropriate Indian culture into, or South Indian culture into Christianity, by propagating the myth of Saint Thomas. Now this was rejected by the early Indian Christian scholars as well. So it says that when this myth of Saint Thomas was rejected by Christian scholars, this included Father Henry Harris, who lived from 1888 to 1955, the famed Jesuit Indologist who hotly contested the claims of Thomas graves had been found in Madras. So basically this myth was rejected by genuine Indian Christian scholars who prevailed at that time. But in 1970s, a zealot named Devinagayam, okay, began pasting Tamil classic texts and superimposing superimposing them with the Christian meaning. At this time, the ground politics was so powerful that the Catholic clergy started to promote this in thesis in academic circles. So this led this what is the name? Devinagayam, okay, Devinagayam, okay. This guy Devinagayam propagated the myth of Saint Thomas in the 1970s, and as we know, the famous church of Saint Thomas in Kerala, it is a complete myth. We shall also go into that, how they try to do it, but not in this video. We shall go through an overview of it. Now, to justify these claims, they started fabricating archaeological evidence. So see how they are manipulating facts and creating new evidence to support their theory. Some empowering churchmen went on to fabricate archaeological evidence with heavy financial support from Vatican City, as you know. Suddenly, startling discoveries were announced of St. Thomas crosses being found near Hindu pilgrim centers. Means they immediately, overnight, they built a cross near the Hindu pilgrim center and stated that this cross was built by St. Thomas, to propagate this myth of St. Thomas. Naturally, the propagation created social tensions, which provided fodder for the international Christian propaganda claiming that Hindus were attacking Christianity, as you know. One such hoax concerning St. Thomas myth involved in Archbishop of Madras, Diocese, and this was publicly exposed in Madras High Court in 1975. Okay, so this was the myth surrounding, and we shall now see a small chart on how this Institute of Asian Studies propagated this St. Thomas myth. This is the chart, okay. Now this is the chart. One sec, okay. Yes. Now this myth of St. Thomas, okay, the myth of St. Thomas was generated, which was rejected by Indian scholars. After that, after 1970s, this myth was further given fuel by creating or fabricating fake archaeological evidence, which led to revival of the St. Thomas myth, and which claimed that Thiruvallar was a Christian. As I have said in earlier video, how they wanted to appropriate Thirukural to Christianity and say that Thiruvallar had Christian influence, and after to propagate his Christian teachings, he wrote Thirukural. Okay. So this led to construction of St. Thomas Dravidian Society. Now this St. Thomas Dravidian Society was given support by International Institute of Tamil. Now see how this ecosystem or strategy is so strong. International Institute of Tamil Studies and Christian Studies of Chair of Madras University. These two institutes gave support to this construction of St. Thomas Dravidian Christian, what we say, society, which believed in this kind of things. Okay, so this Christian society propagated the Tamil spirituality, Dravidian as Aryan and Dravidian. This society played a very key role in propagating this Tamil spirituality, is different from the Aryans, and this was further propagated by Institute of Asian Studies. See how these big institutions are coming into picture. Okay, so that was it for today, guys. In tomorrow's video we shall see how this evangelism and Dravidian movement further propagated, and how this evidence was fake evidence or fake evidence was planted in the political narrative of the Dravidians or the South Indians. So till then, enjoy this video and have a nice day.